On this episode, we smoke the Fuente Opus X in the Perfection Shark 77 vitola. And we talk about hard-to-find cigars. Speaking of Opus X, I'm your host, Johnny Midas, and you're listening to Burnline Podcast. Burnline Podcast. The burn line on a well-crafted cigar is straight and sharp as a razor, much like our wit and wisdom. And what's up, everybody, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls over the age of 21. You're listening to Burnline Podcast, brought to you, as always, not live, from the Hot Box, the smoky back room where deals are struck and fortunes are made, adjacent to the Blanco Cigar Lounge, nestled among the complex of rooms that comprises Union Cigar, Hanover, Pennsylvania, USA. I'm Johnny Midas, and I am joined today by Nick the Brick McCann. Nick, how are we doing?
John, I'm doing excellent, man. I'm looking at this beautiful cigar.
Yeah, it's pretty good looking, huh?
And I am flipping excited. It's rainy and cold. It's fall weather.
Great day to be inside the Hot Box.
Yep. It sounds like a freaking dream to me. So let's do it. I'm excited.
Yeah, we got the whole setup for folks. You know, I know you guys are audio only, so we've got the Fuente Opus X in this. They call it a perfection spelled with an X because of the Opus X thing. I think they took that too far. Shark 77. So this is they say it's a 52, and I guess that's at the big end. And you know, it's like
looks bigger.
Yeah, it does look bigger. And
it's a box press, so
yeah, by 5.5. Yeah, so you have a square box press end that's fairly large. It looks like a 54 to me, and then it tapers down and turns round into a torpedo end that you stick in your mouth. So
yeah,
and that's called a shark, typically, that vitola.
Yep. Yeah.
So
would you say this is closer to a bellicoso or a torpedo?
Man, it's like right in the middle.
Yeah,
I think it's more torpedo-y than a bellicoso, but it's it's more bellicoso-y than a torpedo.
Yeah.
So I think it might just be a function of this funky vitola.
Yeah,
which takes some skill, you know, because the guy that's putting it together is not making a square, obviously,
right?
Making a round one,
yeah,
and then pressing it into the mold. So any cigar where it tapers is harder. Yeah, it's just harder to roll. So the bunching on this has got to be interesting.
I think this is going to be a good episode. I'm excited for this. This is early on. You ran the Affordable Cigar Gauntlet.
Mm-hmm.
We've done a couple since then that are sub 10. This is the first Opus we've done.
Yeah.
And this is the first ultra premium, ultra rare, kind of thing that we've done.
Yeah, it is. So it's not the first expensive cigar.
That's right.
But it is the first ultra premium cigar.
Yeah.
It is also hard to find, and so we thought it would just pair well with, hey, let's talk about hard to find cigars.
Yeah.
You know. So to flesh out the room a little bit more, if you're not familiar with the Opus X branding and band, maybe just pull that up on your phone real quick. Take a look at it. It's kind of cool looking. And then we're surrounded by our gold Johnny Midas Phantom of the Opera cigar smoking art installation. Check out the Instagrams if you want to see that up close and personal. We've got our handcrafted Burlwood Burnline ashtray and cigar stand. We have got Nick the Brick has got one of his personal humidors in here. Absolutely gorgeous. I believe this was handcrafted for your dad by one of his coworkers or friends. Really cool because it looks handcrafted. Like I don't mean like, it looks like somebody's art project. I mean, it doesn't look mass manufactured.
I've never seen a single other humidor that looks like this.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I've never seen one that looks anything like this. I love the square hinges in the back. Those are fucking awesome. Cool touch.
Yeah.
And then just the little things like the lock and key installation, the hinges and the handle are 3 different styles and slightly different finishes, which, that's what happens when you're crafting something on your bench, right? Instead of like, it's all the same style, brush nickel, like a made in China humidor,
right?
Yeah.
We bought 10,000 pounds of this material. We better use it.
Yes, exactly. Anyway, cool humidor. And so you've got some smoky treats to go through here with us today. So we've got the stage set. It kind of looks a little upscale in here today. I even put a little bit of leave-in conditioner in my beard.
Wow.
So it's looking a little bit less like a West Virginia mountain man. And
it's a good thing we're not on video.
Oh, God. The main reason we're audio only.
Yeah.
So we'll do some stuff for the grams, but speaking of which, social media, be sure to reach out and at Burnline Podcast, Instagram, Threads, Twitter, X, whatever the hell it's called, all of that stuff. Let us know what you're thinking. This show is yours, we always say, and if you would like us to talk about something or had a question or whatever, be sure to reach out, like and subscribe, make us rich and famous. And, of course, you can drop us a line at burnlinepodcast@gmail.com. And we do have some fan mail. Okay, so this is from Don Epifanio, which I suspect is a pseudonym. Real men smoke 6x60 and up. The past few episodes really showed Nick's inner basic white bitch. Also, if you could clarify that just because a cigar is $5 and under does not make it a shitty cigar. We've all smoked budget cigars better than some 11 and up cigars. I had to school a guy yesterday about it. Happy smoking. Well, Don Epifanio, that sounds like a whole bunch of shitty opinions wrapped up in an email that you sent us. So keep it coming. We would love to continue embarrassing you on the air. We appreciate your comments. Yeah, I don't know about the real men smoking 6x60s. I wasn't aware that preferred vitola is any way associated with one's sexual expression.
Right.
By the way, I also know some real women that smoke 6x60 and up.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so no, you don't get to prove your masculinity by the size of cigar that you smoke. But he was right. The last few episodes kind of have shown your inner basic white bitch. So
thanks.
I don't know what that means.
I think that the 660 thing is a trope that a lot of guys try to play into.
Well, like
the 660. It's a theme that I think a lot of guys.
Okay.
That's like their. It's a defense mechanism.
Oh, like they're compensating for having a small wiener.
Whoa.
I mean, that's what I heard.
No, I think if they're uncomfortable in the space.
Yeah.
Like, what do you do if you're uncomfortable in the gym? You try and lift way too much.
I don't. I'm not uncomfortable in the gym.
You don't go to the gym. I'm looking at you right now. You don't go to the gym. If you're uncomfortable in the gym, or if you
born this way. No, but on a serious note, like before I really got into the cigar smoking hobby, in my mind, smoking a cigar meant a basically Connecticut or natural wrapper 6x60, probably like on the golf course or the country club, or possibly like in a Cadillac Escalade playing gangster or something.
That was your use case?
Well, that was just like if I thought of somebody smoking cigars.
Okay.
And, like, I think that came from Hollywood.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I got into the hobby, and what I found was a lot of, and pretty much most of the connoisseurs I know are the apasionados. Like, they don't actually like the larger cigars.
No.
And it turns out I don't either. But
yeah.
It's completely up to the individual. You smoke what you like.
Right.
So anyway, awesome email. Really appreciate that. Keep sending them. And look, a fan has responded to your Q&A. This is from Spotify for Podcasters.
Nice.
You've got 1 new responses. And the question is really simple. What did you think about the episode?
Nice. This was the whiskey diesel.
The diesel rabbit hole Derringer.
PX sherry cask.
Yeah.
6x58.
Okay. Now it won't load it. Error loading content. Please refresh the page. Yeah. So this was episode 30, Poignant Pairings, Diesel Whiskey Row Rabbit Hole Derringer pairing. Derringer. What did you think about this episode is the question. And here is the response. As usual, Johnny Midas and Nick the Brick knock it out of the park with this unique cigar and whiskey pairing. Also, Johnny Midas is hot. Okay.
What in the hell?
Yeah. I mean, so if you guys want to Get on the
BS,
socials.
Man. Let me see that. Show me that. Yeah. That's not true, man.
It's
Nobody wrote that.
It's literally right here. Look, you don't believe me.
Oh my god.
Odin's
blood.
Yeah.
Wow.
So y'all keep
amazing,
it up,
man.
and keep engaging. We bring this up because we want to interact with you, the fans. So please interact with us. We're going to keep being awesome, but we can't, kind of give you what you want unless you're talking to us. So keep that coming. We appreciate it. And enough talk. So got the table set. Basically, we're saying we set the table. We set the mood in here pretty much because it's an Opus X, and this is kind of a big deal, to smoke. And so we wanted set and setting to be right, if you will, or conducive to what we're about to do. So I'll post some pictures on the socials for you guys about, kind of how the hot box is set up today. But I just want to get this cigar cut and get smoking before we keep talking. What do you think, Nick?
Yeah, hurry up, man.
All right, so we will talk about presentation after we get it lit. I'm going to cut this Fuente Opus X with my Craftsman's Bench double guillotine open-ended cutter. And Nick, what are you clipping yours with today?
This is the Zycar ZX
X1, yeah.
X1.
So that is a butterfly double guillotine.
Yeah. Yeah, this
Awesome.
is I didn't bring my the cutter with the back today.
Yep, because it's a Bellicoso torpedo Sharky tip, right?
Yep, Sharky tip.
Yeah, absolutely. So it is time for the official cutting, which is brought to you by Fat Boy Cigars. The bold and delicious flavors of premium hand-selected tobacco leaves are highlighted in the original Jacked cigar by Fat Boy Cigars. And don't forget to try the new Fat Boy Cigars Boots on the Ground series. For every cigar you purchase in this series, Fat Boy Cigars will donate $1 to charities benefiting our frontline heroes. Fat Boy Cigars, welcome to the Fat Boys world. And I did notice they posted online over $100 that they were able to donate with the new Boots on the Ground series.
That's freaking awesome.
Yeah. So fantastic.
Shout out to them, man.
Absolutely.
That's awesome.
Not only are they great cigars, but, doing that kind of good in the community. Just love it. That is awesome.
It's really great.
So let's get these cigars cut. And as always, we remind you to clip that cigar with authority. No limp-wristed clipping allowed.
Wow. That was almost as funny as you sniffing the whiskey.
So, I am sniffing it. Smells like manure, which is exactly what you want in a cigar. I'm going to do a cold draw on this one. You know the main reason I'm doing a cold draw?
Because it's an Opus.
That is a really good cold draw.
And you want to get every single drop of juice out of this?
No, actually, it's because I'm testing the draw strength. You notice I didn't clip off quite as much as you because I'm really picky about draw strength.
Yeah.
So I would rather clip off more if I have to.
Yeah, that's a good call. Maybe I did. I don't think I clipped off too much, but
no, you actually still have room to go too. Mm-hmm. So let's talk about presentation. Yeah, that is a really good cold draw. So it's kind of interesting because it has the usual like raisins and dried fruit, but there's also pepper for sure.
We just do this for an hour, cold draw for an hour.
It's burning really slow, guys.
Give it a review at the end. A lot going on in this band.
There is a lot going on. Starting with the cigar. So as per typical, like the Opus X has this, rustic look to it. Like, so all of the Opus X's, they're not
classic.
Classic, yes. That's much better than rope. Yeah. But yeah, that's even better. It looks like a classic cigar.
Yeah.
It doesn't have that ultra processed look that we kind of made fun of the other week. But it's not like all super veiny or whatever. It looks really similar to like a Cuban cigar that you bought in 1992.
Yeah, right? Exactly. Which is right around the time when Opus came out for the first time.
Right.
So they've really stayed the course, I think.
I think so.
I should have brought Opus boxes. I'm sorry.
Oh no, you're fine. But slightly rosado, right? On the
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
So gorgeous. I mean, just gorgeous wrapper. Like it is. It's smooth, and you can see see that little thing under the cap. Like you can see where it was stretched. So the tobacco leaf they were using is like, oh, interesting. Yeah.
Is that what you're talking about?
Well, I just meant right here. You can see the wrinkles. Like,
oh yeah, look at that flap I have.
Yeah. It's just hard to do because of the shape.
Right. Yeah.
But the point is, it was an elastic leaf that they were using. Like
exactly.
You can see the elasticity in it. The veins are not overly pronounced. Slightly different color, but not overly pronounced. Just very attractive. Like this looks like, oh, wow, this is a cigar I want to put in my mouth, right? And then the band, I mean, you almost have to Google it.
There's a lot going on.
Yeah, like, so.
What's the first thing you think of? Quick, one word or one phrase. Go.
Opus X.
That's the first thing you think of when you look at this?
Yeah, I mean, definitely the branding with that X, with the scroll, is,
you know what I've
it's highly recognizable.
Yeah,
especially if you're in the cigar.
It's iconic.
But I was kind of being funny. Like if I didn't say Opus X, it would be like Three Musketeers.
All right, you want to know what I say?
Yeah.
Gothic cathedral, stained glass window.
Yeah, that works. Yeah, definitely something like European centric, kind of like Middle Ages. I was thinking like the Three Musketeers, Cardinal Richelieu, intrigue, fancy stuff. You know.
Yeah. Like a chalice.
Maybe it's just the red that makes me think of Cardinal Richelieu, but
because the Cardinals wear red.
Yeah, that's why they call them Cardinals.
And the St. Louis Cardinals wear red.
Yeah. No, they call the Cardinals Cardinals because they were cardinal red.
Because they secretly transform into birds in the middle of the night and they fly away.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's not that secret if you know about it. Conspiracy Theory Thursday
at
Union Cigar
Hanover.
What is that, first Thursday of every month?
Final Thursday
of every month, yeah.
So coming up.
All right, so we got the official cut. I think it is time to light these cigars. Our official lighting, as always, we remind you to toast it, don't roast it. Toasted, not roasted. Toasted, not roasted. Toasted, not roasted. So I am using my Johnny Midas white and gold, as one might expect. Single soft flame combined with single torch flame lighter from Rocky Patel. And you are using your trusty triple flat flame. It's almost like a blade. Like all three of them come together and they're flat. I actually really like that lighter. And I was talking to Angel Solorio yesterday, and basically I was saying, like, if you know how to use a torch, 1 flame or 4 flames, it doesn't matter. That is absolutely the best tool to use. If you don't know, and because it's about heat control, if you don't know how to use it, you can fuck yourself up. You can really mess up your cigar. But if you know how to use it, it's like the difference to me between a soft flame or a match and a torch is like the difference between a campfire and a propane grill. Like if you're grilling over an open fire, you can't control the heat and temperature as much as a propane grill. So you can really, really cook better with your propane grill than you can with your campfire. But you can also like turn your stuff into charcoal briquettes, a lot easier with the propane. So heat management, regardless of the tool you're using, but with any kind of soft flame, whether it's a match or whatever, it can wrap around the cigar and travel up the wrapper and all that stuff, and you can get that like kind of scorch mark and blackening going up it. So, all right, that was a lot of verbal clutter, but basically, I was talking through our lighting ritual,
which I just got finished with.
Which we just got finished with.
That took a lot for me.
Well, it's a lot of surface area, man.
It is, yeah.
First puff, first impressions.
What if this gets like a 29?
Well, then people will know that either we're full of shit or we're brutally honest.
I mean, I think expectations here, I think for me are between 42 and 46, realistically.
I think for me are between probably 38 and 42. Yeah. Just because I've smoked them before, and they kind of weren't in my wheelhouse. But open mind. We'll see how it smokes. That's just one of those things. Like, I can appreciate a great cigar, but it might not be my thing. And I try to be a little objective on the podcast, like, flavor, for example. It might not be in my wheelhouse, but it might be a good, interesting flavor, and they kind of nailed what they're trying to do. And so I'll give it a higher ranking for the show than
you sound like me.
Yeah, than like my personal taste.
Is this what the blender was trying to do?
Yeah,
if this is what the blender was trying to do, then this is exactly right.
No, I think that's fair. Like, not everybody has the same taste buds and desires. So right off the bat, I think did you use up all of our? I think you used up all our butane. It looks, but doesn't that look like a 60 or something?
Yeah.
Like, once it expands, because box press like turns round, it looks freaking huge.
I'm having trouble getting mine lit. One half of my cigar's not lit.
I see that. Yeah. You know what you could do is you could draw the flame into the cigar.
No,
by
absolutely not.
Inhale sharply, several times in a row. We call it choo-choo training. Just do that, like, and just suck that flame right in. That'll solve that problem.
It'll guarantee that the cigar gets lit.
By the way, if you're new to the show, we are definitely being sarcastic there. Don't do that.
This is going to be interesting. I did not get the cigar off to a good start at all. This is 100% my fault. I don't know why I am having a moment this morning, but I can't get it lit properly.
I'm not sure if that's you, because I'm not great either. It's a big surface area, and I'm not sure that...
Yeah, this is probably the ugliest light that we've had in a long time.
Yeah, and it's both of us, so that's why I think it's not... Like, it's got to be partly the cigar. We didn't both...
We're not both having bad days, are we?
Yeah, we're not both fucking up identically, right?
Yeah.
It's weird. Definitely half of the cigar is like thinner leaves that are bunched more closely together.
It's weird too, because it's like it's fraying a little bit. So it's like when you say it's expanding, like it looks like it's burning outward.
It does,
and so it does look bigger.
I think it is burning outwards.
Yeah. This is a very interesting start.
We just basically bastardized a national monument.
Yeah. Dominican Puro. I think this is one of the first Dominican Puros that we've had.
I think it was one of the first, like, commercially available Dominican Puros on the shelf, right?
That's right, yeah. And you know why? Is because of the wrapper.
Right. Tell us more about that.
So Opus kind of revolutionized the wrapper industry in the cigar world. Dominican tobacco was used for binder and filler, but not wrapper. They couldn't really find Dominican wrappers that were suitable enough for wrapper leaves for premium cigars. So they just kind of, and when I say they, I mean the industry as a whole. Mm-hmm. They just kind of were like, okay, we won't use Dominican wrappers. We'll use Dominican binder, Dominican filler, but we'll use something else for the wrapper.
Right.
And with the Opus, that was the first largely commercially successful Dominican wrapper cigar.
Because in Dominican, you could always get Dominican puros because they're just like wrapping leaves together.
Yeah,
consuming them locally. But as far as
the sought after wrapper leaves were never Dominican,
right?
Until the Opus,
and nothing commercially produced that was like available in America,
right?
Had a Dominican wrapper,
right? And so the Opus really did that with the Dominican wrapper, and it was really a turn, I think, in the industry at a point where Dominican tobacco was very popular, but the wrapper, like I said, was just not. They were not using wrappers.
Okay, so, I got to talk about this because, wow, this is some really good and interesting flavor I'm getting. So, first of all, this smokes very much like a classic Cuban cigar. And what I mean by that is the smoke is light and the flavors are, on the spectrum of like delicate. But this is a strong cigar. I would call this full-bodied, full-strength. If you're used to like big, thick, Maduro cigar smoke, like many in America are, this is going to feel light. But be careful, because 5 puffs in, you're going to get that little feeling like someone's tapping on the back of your skull with an 8-pound mallet. Um, it is a strong cigar. I really like. This is my wheelhouse in flavor. This is why I first picked up an Opus X. Is after smoking my way through the humidor, I found that my preferred cigars are kind of Cuban style, which is light, floral, aromatic, but strong. Right. I do enjoy a good like chocolatey Maduro cigar from time to time, but those are more like after dinner dessert cigars. Whereas this style I can enjoy in a lot of different situations, right? Except before breakfast is a challenge because they're strong.
Yeah, I think you got it with the flavor, especially. They were. This is way before the triple Maduro 660 wave, right?
The Lajero on Lajero, the triple Maduro,
Cubans were still king when this debuted.
Yes,
Cubans were still very, very much king,
and I think they nailed it in the sense of this smokes like a Cuban cigar, and they were proving that a Dominican wrapper could produce that experience.
Sure.
And I think they nailed it.
Yeah.
Now, interesting note for all the nerds and geeks out there: the main reason that the Dominican wrapper, wasn't used and had to be developed, it was simply cultivation, which is to say, it can take generations and generations of hybridization to come up with what you're looking for in a wrapper leaf, and of course these are Cuban seeds that were exported to Dominican Republic, which helped. Like they weren't starting from scratch, but like lab hybridization wasn't really a thing back then. Today, like Perdomo and some other companies, like they're in a lab, like scientists in lab coat type thing.
They could probably figure out how to grow a
genetically
wrapper leaf in Montana pretty quick.
Yeah, like genetically engineer, and you don't have to wait for a harvest and then select the best plants and care, and you're collecting the seeds by plant, and they all, they're all marked and stuff like that. You don't have to you had to do that back then. But the other interesting reason for kind of the lack of wrappers coming out of Dominican Republic is the soil, which is very mineral rich, which can make for some really interesting flavorful tobacco, but also affects the way the actual plant grows. And it tends to be, the plants tend to be beefier. Like they're less delicate because they have so many more nutrients and stuff. Like they grow like weeds, no pun intended. So I think the draw is actually a little looser than I like on this.
Mine too.
That's really interesting because what would you say this, I guess the opening that I cut is probably maybe 9 millimeters, like it's less than a centimeter across.
Yeah, no, it's not very deep at all.
Yeah. Very open cigar. The flavors, I would say the flavors are like leather, earth, and flowers, but they're delicate flavors. These are not slap you in the face kind of flavors. And cedar. There's some cedar in there.
I'm working on fixing my burn right now. I'm changing my smoking rate to fix the burn. I was smoking the cigar too slowly in an attempt to keep it as cool as possible, but that was too slow for it to burn evenly, especially with the lighting issues that I have. But you see, I increased my pace, and now it's getting...
Yeah, it's catching up.
Yep.
You can see...
yours is good.
It's okay.
Yeah, it's wobbly.
It's wobbly, yeah. Like that side in particular, I need to catch up. But I think that has to do with the lighting challenges we had to start out with. And I think, a couple of things. One is the foot was uneven. It wasn't like a crisp, flush cut. There was mountains and valleys. And then it's just a lot of tobacco to get lit. I would like to, like if I did this again, I would like to light it with a lamplighter, tabletop lamplighter. I think I could control the heat application probably more easily that way, or better.
I have one in here somewhere that's a smaller gauge. Opus. Yeah, this shark is a big boy. I believe I don't know when the shark vitola was born, but
and like, so if you were to take the same amount of tobacco and turn it into a double Corona.
Yeah.
Right? It's like that much tobacco.
Oh yeah.
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 It's almost like Churchill amounts of tobacco.
Yeah. Right.
So I wonder how long it's going to smoke. Yeah, this is pretty savory, man. I think I would say right now, like, if this isn't in your wheelhouse, and I mentioned before, like, I haven't in the past, like, really enjoyed Opus as much as I thought I should, right? And that's probably based on the mystique and the price and stuff like that and the availability. Then I don't think you're going to like it. If you like cigars that are kind of in this flavor profile, this is a fantastic example of it. And I would say that flavor profile is like classic Cuban.
Right. Yeah, it's definitely not. It's definitely not that. I think if you like Padron Natural, and the Padron Natural is going to be stronger than this. If you like a Monte Cristo White
or Platinum,
I think the Platinum's going to be even stronger than this, though.
Well, yeah,
Right?
I don't know but this is like the flavor is not strong.
No.
But it is a strong cigar. Like, I can feel it in the back of my head, and like, I feel like I'll see stars in the corner of my vision if I inhale a little bit, But you could, because the smoke is light enough. No, on the show, yeah.
Yeah.
And for the second time, Johnny Midas has lost his breakfast.
This is we'll put in the thumbnail and the tagline. Smoker inhales entire Opus X, passes out. Is he alive? ?
Check it out on the socials.
Yeah.
We'll do a poll. So yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, this is a lot more delicious than I remember my last one being. You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of the what is that other Fuente? The Casa de Cuba.
Yes.
It reminds me of that one, which is one of my favorite cigars.
Did you mean this one?
Yes.
Oh wait, no, not that one. I know which one you're talking about.
This is the Casa Fuente.
Casa Fuente. Casa de Cuba, I know.
These are hard to find too, though.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is good, because we're about to talk about hard to find. Yeah. Casa Fuente is a good one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's called Casa de Cuba.
Yeah, no, you are exactly right.
Yeah. It's one of my favorite, and it's usually available, although, a lot of the smaller humidors, that kind of carry core line products don't have it. They'll have the Hemingway, the short story. But that's right up there. That's a really good cigar in my wheelhouse.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, you got to fix that right there. Like, that part's not burning.
It's happening, man. It's happening.
Okay, patience.
You see it?
I look though, but there's a whole chunk of tobacco right there that's not combusting. See that? It's like a whole.
Here?
Yeah.
No, that's burned.
Is it? Okay.
I think so.
Okay. Looks like it's on the inside. That's the only reason I was.
Yeah, I couldn't get the inside half of this lit.
Yeah, it's kind of odd. Mine's okay. Mine's burning okay. They're humidified well, though. I had them in my humidor for 2 weeks after buying them.
Where have you been keeping these?
In my sock drawer.
You're keeping these at the bottom of your pool?
They're not that humid.
I'm squishing this, man. Water's coming out.
Yeah, it's the new thing, man. So we have got this lit and smoked, and it is pretty delicious. I've got my black coffee as usual while I'm smoking it. Although I haven't actually had that much coffee because I'm really just enjoying the cigar for what it is right now. So with that, I think it is time for our tobacconist tip of the week. Nick, what have you got for us?
And now your tobacconist tip of the week with Nicholas McCann.
And my advice this week simply is just if you see a cigar in a humidor that you've really been wanting to try and that's maybe a little bit out of your price range that you normally spend, right? I'm not talking about putting yourself into poverty for a cigar, but I'm talking about if your budget's normally $10 to $15 a day or a session on cigars, and you see the $22 cigar that you really want to try, then go for it. And I think that the Opus is a great example of that. One of those cigars that Like you just saw it in the humidor and you just went for it because this is a cigar that, you know, a lot of times you're not going to regret passing up.
Yeah. That's one of the benefits of this hobby is the approachability and affordability. You know, it's not like collecting watches or cars or something. You know, I really want to add that 911 to my collection.
Yeah,
you know,
you can't just get it on a whim.
Right. Whereas with cigars, you know, if you've been eyeballing that one cigar that you think looks cool or something, or maybe you heard about it, just try it.
Do it.
You know, worst case scenario, you're out 10, 20, something like that, and you didn't like it.
Yeah.
But now you know, you scratch the itch.
I've seen people on the fence a lot too about trying cigars, expensive cigars and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
They're really worried about not liking it,
Mm-hmm.
and that's okay. You're not going to like everything,
Mm-hmm.
but you know, try it. I think is my advice, and just go for it. You know, if you don't like it, now you know.
Yeah, and I think my approach is a little bit different, which is, you know, I'll try pretty much everything in the humidor once. I mean, not everything, but quite a bit of the cigars in the humidor. And I'm really just like, it's almost like a conversation with that tobacco and with the blender and with the company. You know, like, what are you trying to do here? And I don't like all of them.
No.
But that doesn't make it not an enjoyable experience.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
It's like, you know, if you test drive a pickup truck and you're like, well, I don't think this one's for me. But it's still better than sitting on the couch watching Netflix.
Yeah,
you know, like
right.
you got to drive the truck.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. Like, you know, I very rarely smoked a cigar where I'm like, wow, I wish I had spent my time doing something else.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
I might not buy another one.
It's gonna happen.
Yeah.
It will happen.
Yeah, I mean, acids. But that's the ongoing joke here. Well, Nick, thank you for that tobacconist tip of the week. If you are eyeballing something in the humidor, treat yourself. Just go ahead and make it happen. So let's talk about hard to find cigars. So this is the Opus X, and I was able to pick these up by accident because I was at a cigar shop and somebody had put in an order for some hard to find expensive cigars and then like canceled it. You know, the tobacconist was like, hey, you want something good? Because he knows that I'm Johnny Midas and I like good cigars. I was like, oh yeah, what you got? And so I was able to pick these up, but not commonly available on shelves. A lot of the time there's like, you know, like a cigar shop will get a shipment and reach out to members first, like locker members. You know, they're almost pre-sold a lot of the time. Or they'll come out for special events, you know, for holidays and stuff like that.
Right. They might even limit it to 1 or 2 per customer.
Yeah, absolutely. So happy to smoke on this for a little bit. But let's talk about some other hard-to-find cigars. Nick, what have you got going on with your cigar?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
You want me to touch it up for you? I have an idea.
Do you?
I do. How much do you trust me? Yeah, I have a propane torch out in my 4-wheel drive.
It's like the tobacco in that quadrant of
Yes.
it just didn't burn on the inside.
Yeah. It's like this is the Ligero, and it all got bundled up in this quadrant. Give that a try.
Thanks.
Maybe that'll improve things a bit.
Let's hope so, because I am not having a good time right now. That's so weird. That little block that's hanging on is weird.
It is weird. I mean, we can cut it off. Give it a long, slow draw. Try to even out the burn. Oh, yeah, you got a giant... Like, your cherry is behind that. That chunk needs to come off.
That's okay.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah,
We'll see what happens.
Okay.
This is not my first time, everyone. I promise. I promise
that it's just a weird burn. Like, that cigar is burning weird. Mine is burning as I would expect.
Which is, hey, this is not the cigar that I want to have this problem with. All right.
I know. Like, that's the thing.
All right, Nick's in a bad mood. Let's talk about cigars that are hard to find.
Yeah. So, what have you got first up? And we're going through your stash here, and I'm just salivating because I can see some label on the top here. But
let's do this one. Do you know this one?
Ooh, in Ashton, this is the Estate Sungrown. Oh,
yeah. Ashton
nice.
ESG.
And I can see it's got a $30 price tag on it, so that seems like it's probably a little hard to find.
That's an excellent cigar. That'd be Ashton's version of Opus X.
Yeah.
For lack of a better descriptor.
Yeah.
I have when I saw the ones that you brought today for us to smoke, I pulled this one out, which is this is the Don Carlos Eye of the Shark.
Yes.
And I think they made this for so Carlito Fuente is the gentleman with the mustache, and he's the face of Fuente right now.
Because he's the good-looking one.
His father Carlos was the founder.
Yep.
And so they made this in honor of his 80th birthday. I have some Byron Reservas. Have you had these before?
Yes.
I think you have. You've told me about these.
The Cuatro Años.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which are awesome.
So this is a large torpedo.
It is.
Connecticut.
It's very fat.
And this guy is a Maduro or Oscuro.
Yeah.
And this is the Cinco Años. Gorgeous.
So a thing that I love collecting is really good cigars that I like a lot that change the band or packaging design. Mm-hmm. And so I like to have one of each. So on the left there is the old Numero Uno by Hoya de Nicaragua.
Yeah. That was like when they first said you can buy this.
Yeah.
And then here's the new.
Yeah. There's the updated version, which I just think is really cool to have because it shows what they used to look like. And I think, if you're one of those guys that smoked it back in the day, there's a little bit of nostalgia for you.
And I think the Numero Uno is a little more accessible than the cigars we just looked at.
It is for sure. But the one on the left, you cannot find.
Can't get that anywhere.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. Unless you find someone willing to part with theirs. So how much for the old?
Yeah, right.
Let's get a deal going.
I'll trade you the Phantom of the Opera statue for this.
Deal. I can get another one on Amazon for $12.
And so this is the second one that I have, and this is a very run-of-the-mill cigar that I was just blown away at finding the original design of the band.
Oh, wow. The Hoya Cabineta.
Yeah, man. So the Hoya Cabineta.
Wow.
I know. It is unreal.
Yeah. So you have the original.
Yeah.
That is super cool, man.
And I love that cigar a lot.
Yeah.
And so, when I saw that, I asked the person if I can have it. They did not care very much. And I was like, oh, good. All right, cool.
Nice. Yeah, so that's a good one.
That's really cool to me.
Shout out to Hoya de Nicaragua, by the way. I like a lot of their stuff.
It is, very good.
All right, so let me tell you about my unicorn.
Go ahead.
Which is the Unicorn.
The Unicorn. Saka, yep. Yeah.
So I was at a cigar shop. The guy has been, running that shop for like 40 years or something. So he has a lot of relationships. By the way, you don't magically form relationships over 40 years. You still have to work at it. Mm-hmm. But he did. And he was allotted 5. Now, keep in mind, 599 came to North America. And I think 998 were made. It was 1,000, but 2 of them got smoked for quality control. So he got 5 of them, and he had 4 left. And I asked if I could buy all of them, and he said no. But he sold me 3.
Nice.
So 1 gift to my president, 1 gift to my vice president, and 1 I smoked myself. $100 coffin box, gorgeous, like the best craftsmanship I've seen in a cigar.
Yeah.
Possibly the Asylum Sensorium could compete with the quality and reminds me of it with the coffin box.
Right.
But probably the only $100 cigar I've smoked that was actually worth it. Like I would pay $100 to smoke another one.
Yeah.
But that's why I wanted to get all 4. Is I wanted to save one.
Yeah.
But I was able to get 3, and I'm I'm not. I smoked one and I gave to his gifts, but I wasn't going to not smoke it.
Yeah.
This was meant to be smoked. So that was my run-in with a rare cigar.
We have different philosophies, I think, but
maybe, yeah.
I would have sat on that puppy for.
Yeah. So you can find them online, and they are very expensive on the secondhand market.
Yeah.
But
And that
Worth
was
it?
that was the double perfecto.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nice. That's awesome. That's really, really cool. So speaking of coffins, I have one of these I opened and the other one I did not. So the one on the left is open. But that is my father, Flor de las Antillas, 10th anniversary coffin.
Wow. 6.5 by 52 Toro.
Yep. And so that was the cigar of the year in 2008. It was my father, Pepin's first cigar of the year under the My Father brand. And these are awesome. I love coffins.
And this is the limited edition 2022.
Yeah, they're gone. I
Yeah.
think they're gone.
Yeah, they're gone. Nice.
Which are awesome. I like these a lot. I haven't had one. I probably won't have one. And then this is a gift. That one's awesome too. You got to open that one. That one's gorgeous.
Ooh, Don Pepin Garcia 15th anniversary limited edition 2018. I love this coffin box. It's so wants to be made into a train whistle. Yeah.
Yes. Oh, you're so right about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Nice.
Oh, I love the band on this.
It's gorgeous.
It is.
It
absolutely.
is so. I mean, that is Opus X. Opus esque,
Opus esque.
right?
Opus XS.
Like if Opus was blue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Instead of red.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's a rarity. Ooh, I see you have some actual Cohibas.
All right.
What the fuck is that?
Have you seen this?
No, I haven't.
Oh man. Here. This is the La Flor Dominicana TCFKA. And there's actually a pretty funny story behind the name.
Double perfecto with
Dude, there's
pigtail
yeah.
cap.
Yeah.
Tight pigtail cap.
Yeah.
That is fucking cool,
That's the
man.
coolest. I mean, that
It
is the
is.
coolest vitola that I've ever seen.
Yeah, for
They
sure.
do some really awesome stuff. If
I
you
like how the foot has got, like the head too, you can't see as much because it's pigtail.
Yeah.
Like the head and the foot are a different color tobacco.
yeah.
I wonder if that's the binder.
So they make it in Oscuro, which is the one you're holding, and then a natural,
Yeah.
which is a lighter color wrapper. So the lighter color wrapper cigar is like the foot,
Yep.
but they put the Oscuro on the foot and the cap. So they just flip flop it for the natural. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but on this one, like the foot and the cap is not above the wrapper; it's underneath. So that's like the binder coming out.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, that is super cool, man.
nice. Yeah, this cigar. I mean, this cigar is awesome. I was a big fan of Futurama growing up,
Yeah.
and these remind me of the cigars that Bender smokes.
Yeah, yeah.
in Futurama.
Well, see, but that ties into what I was talking about. Like in my mind,
Yeah.
before I was into cigars, you know what? Whoever was smoking the cigar in my mental picture, it was always a double perfecto. Maybe because of the Monopoly guy.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, no, I'm
But,
totally
like,
with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. that's how they're portrayed often in media. Is that? Yeah, it's never a parejo.
Right, right.
Yeah.
No, I love double perfecto.
Yeah.
I do. Or as we call them, a fancy parejo.
This one's cool. This was a gift from a friend, which is Don Carlos 2018.
Oh, very nice. So another
forget.
Fuente product.
Yeah, Fuente's like the industry leader in
Collectibles.
Yeah,
yeah. I think so, for sure.
There's a lot of heckin' Fuentes out there that are just really rare and hard to find.
Yeah.
But that one's cool.
It's got a cedar sleeve, about less than half of the cigar, which is a little different, with a gorgeous black ribbon at the bottom. That's really well done.
I like that one a lot. This is also a shark,
Oh, yeah.
which is the same size that we're
It's
smoking right now.
also an Opus X, but this is the...
The Destino Siglo.
Wow.
Opus X Destino Siglo, which I'm not sure what the variation is like between the one that we're smoking, the FFOX, and that one right there, but
So it's the identical band
is it just
with a second band on it.
foot band that's different, or the yeah
Second band.
yeah
It's cool as shit, though.
that's awesome. Yeah. I like this one a lot. This is small ring gauge gang.
Oh, nice.
An Opus that is
Sorry. He just handed me a Opus X, and this is like a Lonsdale torpedo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's probably
Love
got a 44 gauge probably 6.5 by 44.
No, it's bigger than that.
Longer than that, you think? 7 by 44?
No. Look, that's like 8.
Oh my gosh. Anyway, that cigar's gonna be awesome. The Casa Fuente, which we talked about earlier, a little bit we touched on. Is this? Oh, this is a different one. This is the Destino Siglo in a Bellicoso.
Nice.
So not in a shark.
Yep. And this
Vitola.
one has got a yellow ribbon at the foot. Very nice. Good Lord. It's got a price tag on here, $35.
Let's play that up. It's a golden footband.
It is golden. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's really cool. I like that. It ties in with the Siglo branding, which is golden instead of red.
Got a fire.
Oh, the God of Fire. Yeah, so I think the God of Fire 2017 Tubo
Oh, that's your favorite cigar, isn't it?
is my favorite cigar. Yeah. And this is the Serie B from 2019. Nice. Yeah, God of Fire for sure. And they are hard to find. I mean, they're not like special edition, but they kind of are.
Yeah. This next one is probably maybe the rarest cigar that I have. The Davidoff Zeno Platinum
Whoa.
Z Crown Chubby, which is a double perfecto like we were talking about.
Yes, this looks exactly like the big man cigar.
Yeah.
Like, I made it. I'm a millionaire. This is what I'm smoking. Wow. Gorgeous band, too.
God, I think that was like $50.
Yeah.
That was expensive, and I think
Chubby Especial.
I think those are pretty old. But yeah, that's a Davidoff
Nice.
Zeno Platinum. So,
All right, so we've gone through a handful of rare, hard-to-find cigars. Hopefully, folks are taking notes, but let's make it easy on them. We went through a few. Maybe there's some that you don't have here, but that you wish you had here. If you had to pick, for our guys out there that are kind of developing their hobby and their taste, and they want to try some, or at least get their hands on and put in their humidor some rare, hard-to-find cigars, let's pick 5 that our listeners could turn into holy grails to acquire and have in their humidor or maybe try.
are you going to pick? Let's go. You pick one, I'll pick one, and then we'll go on from there.
Well,
Do you have one in mind?
I would have to say the Unicorn by Saka. They're not coming back if you can get your hands on one. Absolutely delicious smoke. Like, if you want to celebrate, like becoming a partner in a firm or something like that, that is the cigar to smoke, and worth it. Like, I don't always correlate price with the cigar when I'm talking about hard to find cigars, right? I do have that value equation with our everyday smokes and stuff we do on the show. But the Unicorn's actually worth it. Like, that was easily a $100 experience. You can pay more for that to go to some clubs and stuff like that, and cover charge. You'll get more enjoyment out of that cigar. So, yeah, I'd have to say the Unicorn by Saka would be on my list if you're a cigar hunter. Save up, budget for it, find it, make it happen.
Yeah, I think any variation of Opus, I think probably is the number one for me. I think that they've just done such a good job of building the mystique of the brand and the rarity of it that I think that that's a good one to just kind of always look out for. It. That's the one we get requested most, and by customers is, do you guys have any Opus? Do you guys have any Opus? Like, I wish, because it's really a tough one to find. But when you find it, it's definitely worth considering.
And do you have a specific one, for cigar hunters out there, like that you would recommend above the others?
Not particularly.
Well, let me add on to that then and say the Lost City.
The Lost City's awesome.
Yeah, the Opus X Lost City. I think it's my favorite of the Opus X's. Can definitely be harder to find now. You can get the regular Opus X, like they are making them. It's just super premium tobacco, so there's not many of them, and they're hard to find.
Right.
Lost City, not so much. So if you wanted a specific Opus X to hunt down, that'd be my recommendation.
Yeah. I think the Andalusian Bull is another good one.
Okay, yeah, that's
that's
a collectible for sure.
and it's not impossible to find at all. Like that's way attainable. It's a lot of right place, right time.
To be fair, I don't really care for that cigar. Fair warning to everybody out there. Not my favorite, but a good cigar and
Highly sought after.
highly sought after. Yep. Okay, so that's 3. Let's add 2 more. So I'm going to make a controversial selection, which is find a way to get your hands on an actual Cuban Cohiba Behique.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I can tell you're probably going to spend like $300 on it nowadays. Definitely check the chain of custody, and
That's so risky.
it's very risky. You have to make sure it's a real one. So like if you're paying less than $100 for it, you got to fake. Right now, like if you have a connection in Europe that can buy one and send it to you, you're looking at $300 American. Definitely
American.
Yeah, definitely over $250
USD.
for it. Yeah, USD. But I think it's worth it. I mean, first of all, it is a really fantastic smoke, although I don't care for the vitola. They only come in that giant ass
56.
yeah
Yeah.
size.
56 is this. Yeah.
But still worth it. Great cigar. Also very strong. Similar to this Opus. Like it's a light, sweet, flavorful smoke. The smoke is light on your palate. But man, if you speed puff that a couple of times, it will smack you in the back of the head. Very strong. And that is from the Medio Tiempo, which the Behique is made exclusively of Medio Tiempo tobacco.
Yeah.
So, which is one reason why it's so expensive.
Nice.
I mean, if the plant develops to have 2 leaves at the top,
Right. Yeah.
it's only 2 leaves off of every plant. And what did we say when we did that episode? Was it like 10% or something, or 20% of tobacco plants actually develop that way?
Yeah, something super low like that.
Yeah.
I think I would add the HMN 175 on there to that list because it's gone now. Altadis USA has run out of boxes. There were 14,750 boxes of 10 made. So there are
1,000.
147,500 boxes made or cigars made, which is that's pretty rare.
That is pretty rare.
And they are at this point 4 years old because they released in 2019. So if you can find the H. Upman 175th anniversary, they only make it in a Churchill.
And just to say that again, for audio clarity, the H. Upman 175th anniversary comes in a Churchill only.
What am I not speaking clearly enough?
Well, I mean, you're kind of talking fast. So it sounded like you said H1N1. We're not talking about like bird
Swine flu?
Yeah, whatever. That's also rare, and we want to keep it that way.
Yeah, don't look for that one.
Yeah.
But the Upman 175 is awesome cigar. One that I wish I had more of, and one that, yeah, if they ever release a second wave, if they ever do a part 2, I will be looking after that, pretty hard.
Right on. So there are some tips if you are a cigar hunter and you're interested in this show and you're thinking, you know what, I've smoked the stuff that's available at my local humidor. I'm looking for something a little rarer. Here are some things that you can start with.
And I think like as far as the how goes, just get in with your local tobacconist, right?
That's a great place to start.
Get a good relationship with the guy that does the order and the guy that's behind the counter, and see if you can't,
And make sure it's the right guy. Like,
yeah.
I'm not, dunking on anybody, but, at any cigar shop, there's the guy that comes in, to, just make a low wage, because it's not a high-paying wage shop, but isn't the decision maker.
Right.
So, like the manager, district manager, owner, something like that.
Yeah.
The guy that has the purchasing power and makes those decisions. Make friends with them for sure. At several shops, I've got I've got connections in 12 different states. that own cigar shops, and they send me emails all the time. Like, I got this fucking rare cigar. You know, I got this one I remember you liked.
Yep.
I've got the one guy that sends me the Las Calaveras every year, you know, for my collection. I've got the one guy that sends the Tatuaje Monsters.
Those are awesome.
Yeah. Which we didn't mention, but another great rare cigar to pick up on.
Seasonal release.
Seasonal release, yeah. And with that, it is time for our cigar news of the week. What have you got for us, Mr. McCann?
Cigar News. Here is your host, Nicholas McCann.
So my cigar news of the week this week is three quick things. The first one, Alec Bradley's Magic Toast 5th anniversary heads to stores, which is awesome because I love that cigar. That is really, I think I talked about it. It's going to be a Perfecto, I believe, with a secondary band that distinguishes that it is the 5th anniversary edition. The next bit of news I have is that J.C. Newman's Brickhouse Bricktoberfest 2023 heads to stores.
So what is the Bricktoberfest?
So every year on this time, which is, I think, it started in the East in Germany and moved to the West. But this whole Oktoberfest
Beer celebration?
Yeah. The J.C. Newman Brickhouse adopted it and, made it a Bricktoberfest, which is just a special edition of a Brickhouse blend.
Gotcha. So it's not an event that we're talking about heading to stores. It's a cigar.
Yes, yeah, I'm sorry. The Bricktoberfest is the name of a cigar.
Right.
Yeah.
So
it's a special edition, limited edition cigar.
So we got the Alec Bradley 5th coming to stores. We have the Bricktoberfest, which is a seasonal release every year, headed to stores. I gotcha.
And then the last bit of news is that Plasencia is discontinuing the Cosecha 146.
Ooh, interesting.
Which is, I am not the biggest fan of that cigar.
Yeah.
Cosecha is the word for harvest, or it signifies like the year. Mm-hmm. So it was the 146 was the 146th harvest that Plasencia had. Since then, they've released the 149, and they're going to release the 151.
So they're probably just out of tobacco from that harvest.
Yeah, very likely. And I think they're also trying to make room in their portfolio for the 151 to come out.
Right. Makes sense.
So yeah, that's all I got for right now.
Well, thank you for that cigar news of the week, Nick the Brick. Let's return to this Fuente Opus X, give our last thoughts on it, and then we will rank it. So I am in the second third. I think this is a long-burning cigar. This is definitely over an hour smoke. This is the Shark, which is advertises like a 5.5 by 54, I think. Once that box-pressed end opens up, it's much larger than that. I mean, it was probably a 60 ring gauge, something like that. So notes on flavor, I mean, so it hasn't really changed much. It is a strong cigar, but the smoke is light. It is light in your mouth, light in your palate. It's a lot of smoke. Like, look how smoky this room is. But it's like a pale white smoke, so it kind of sneaks up on you. But yeah, the flavors are definitely like leather and earth, and it's like a slightly peppery earth, with floral elements. Just reminds me of a classic Cuban cigar. So if you're into that kind of flavor, this is the one for you. Nick, any thoughts on flavor?
I have hardly any, man. I got to be honest with you. I didn't get a lot. Half of my cigar's burning.
Yeah, I can see that. You have a terrible burn.
What am I missing?
Did you take pictures of that?
I did just now.
I mean, it's worth posting online. I mean, as an example of how not to smoke a cigar.
Not to bash.
No, I mean,
it can happen. Real unfortunate that it happened with this one.
Yeah,
but I'm not. At this point,
because you're just burning filler right now.
Yeah, if I took a puff, I'd be missing 65-70% of the wrapper.
Yeah.
There's no.
Yeah, I can fix that. It's gonna take some work, but after the podcast, I'll fix it for you.
Yeah, it's fixable, but it's
fixable with this major surgery. You're not gonna like it, but
yeah, and
you're gonna lose half the cigar.
Well, I'm already halfway through, and
yeah. All right. Well, let's talk about presentation. So the band, huge fan of it. I mean, not just because it's iconic. But it's well designed. The color palette goes together. It's that red and gold and white, and just a little bit of like, I guess, red earth tone complements. And it's gorgeous. The cigar itself looks really good. It's a very classic looking cigar. And of course, the box is great. They put plenty of effort into it. I have an 8 on presentation. Nick, what did you have for presentation?
I think I got to give it its flowers, man. I think I got to give it a 9. Presentation's awesome. I think that this cigar in the humidor is so eye catching. You know, you see the Opus box or you see the Opus band, and you're drawn to it immediately.
Yeah.
So I got to give it a 9.
Definitely eye catching.
Yeah.
Okay. And then so we didn't talk about price when we started smoking, and there's a good reason for that, which is the chances of, like you paying some kind of standard price is kind of slim. So I've seen these and I've seen different editions. This is just the classic Opus X. It's not a Lost City or the one with the pink band or whatever. So you're going to find them from time to time in stores, but you're probably going to pay, I'm going to give a range here because I've never seen the same price twice on these, and I think it just has to do with, how the store is feeling, what they can get away with, to be honest with you. I paid $29 for this cigar, and I've paid $22 for this cigar. So I think you're looking at mid-20s.
Yeah.
And it does depend on taxes and stuff as well.
Don't be surprised if you get up into the 30s.
Yeah, don't be surprised if you're in the 30s. I agree. So thoughts on that?
For the experience that I'm having.
Yeah. I mean, you had a really shit experience with that this time, but
I gotta ride the fence here. I can't.
Yeah.
7.
7 for price.
I'll give the price a 7 because it's not. I mean, I've seen guys charge $100, $50 for a cigar.
Yeah.
I have cigars in this box here that are, up there.
Yeah.
The Opus is still for as popular as it is. I think they could get away with 50.
Yeah, I think so.
So I mean, they still make it accessible, but
yeah, I gave it an 8 for price. Obviously, I'm having a better experience than you today, but yeah, I think compared to similarly available cigars, I think it is expensive, but relative to similar cigar. I mean, we smoked a cigar that was more expensive the other week. That giant 10-inch by 105 gauge Salomon or whatever from Botticelli. Mm-hmm. It was more expensive, and this is a way better cigar. So, and of course, you have the Opus X experience.
Right.
So, I'm giving it an 8 on price. Now, here comes the tough one: construction. So, I'll go first.
Go ahead.
The construction on mine was good. It was not great, and it didn't blow me away. A couple of issues. One is I know this is a hard vitola to construct, but you can see like where the cap goes around. I didn't have any fraying or pieces to tongue or whatever, but I do have like that little wrinkle that lets a little air in for the draw. That's not what you want in a cigar. And then lighting this up was just a bear. I think it was too much tobacco. And then the foot was not a clean cut. If you looked at it like horizontally across the face of it, it looks like mountains and valleys. And because the tobacco is not even in flush, it burns, like it starts to ignite differently and at different rates, makes it hard to get a burn going. So I've got a 7 on construction. I think I'm being a little harsh there, but I do expect better from something like this and at this price point. If this was an Esteban Carreras, it would probably get like an 8 or a 9 for construction.
Yeah.
But for what it is, it gets a lower score, and
Yeah.
that just is part of the game when you're playing in this price point, and availability structure. So, Nick, what are your thoughts?
This was the single worst constructed cigar that I've smoked on the show.
Fair.
And probably the single worst constructed cigar that I've smoked in the last 6 months.
Fair.
And I don't... Normally I'm like, user error. I'm doing something wrong here. but you touch it up for me. I touch it up. I just don't know what to do, man. This is the construction ruined the experience of the cigar for me.
Yeah, I mean, you almost didn't get to experience it. Is that fair?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Don't know what to give it.
I mean, dude, I have to give it like a 2.
Yeah, I think that's fair. 2 for construction.
Like, this was borderline unsmokable.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's fair. We're going to go with the higher number on this one because I think that's a exception rather than the rule.
Yes. 100% exception.
Because we've both smoked multiple Opus X's.
Yeah.
And this is the only one for both of us. So we'll go with the 7 on that one, but I think 2 is the fair score. I mean, if you had said 1, I would have agreed with that.
Yeah.
You know, it's hard to get a cigar that is, and it's definitely a construction issue because we both know how to fix burns and correct stuff. None of it worked.
I mean, dude, we sit here every week and we smoke a cigar.
Yeah. Well, here's what it looks like to me. It looks like one Ligero leaf got rolled up and was in the lower left quadrant of that cigar and just wasn't burning.
Yeah.
At the same rate as everything else dramatically, right?
Yeah.
All right, so let's go to flavor. This one is interesting because, you know, I really feel like if this cigar is in your wheelhouse, it's a 10, and if it's not, it's like a 2.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
You know, there's a lot of people love the Cuban flavor experience, and a lot of people hate it, but I don't know a lot of guys in the middle, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
So, Nick, what are your thoughts on flavor?
Can I give it an NA or an X?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there needs to be an asterisk.
Yeah, because you didn't really get any on your cigar.
Yeah. I mean, the flavor that I had was not good.
Right.
But it was.
Right.
I smoked. I mean, looking at it right now, I smoked 60% of the, filler,
and 10% of the wrapper.
Yeah. Just so I didn't get a fair shot at flavor.
Okay.
So I'll pass my ranking.
Okay.
For the sake of fairness, I think.
Yeah, I think that's fair. So I've got a 9 for flavor.
Yeah, you liked it a lot.
I did. Yeah. I really enjoyed this a lot more than I remember enjoying my last Opus X. It's just really in my wheelhouse. But I just want to give that caveat because it's one of those things where it's like if you're into the lighter floral, earthy, classic Cuban flavor with strength, with a real punch, this cigar is for you. And a lot of like veteran cigar smokers I know like that because they can handle the strength. If you're a newbie to cigars, this could knock you on your ass fast because you can inhale this smoke and you won't feel it until, a couple seconds afterwards you'll be seeing stars.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then if you like the rich, chocolatey, sweet side of cigars, this is not the cigar for you. Like there's no sweetness in the cigar.
No.
There's a touch of pepper, a touch of earth, a touch of leather, a touch of floral, and it just plays so well together.
Right.
So I've got a 9 there, but also caveat emptor. Like if it's not in your palate, I just, in my experience, this is not a middle of the road flavor profile. No. It's like you love it or you don't.
Yeah,
so.
I'm with you there.
All right, and that brings us to experience. Is this one you want to asterisk as well?
No, no, I had an experience.
Yeah, tell me about it.
It was horrible.
Yeah, it was.
Because I was really excited to smoke an Opus with you today. I guess this is just the way the cookie crumbles sometimes, and it's way easier to swallow when it's a $7 cigar versus when it's a one of one.
Right.
And not literally a one of one, but a 3, 4.
Okay.
That was just, I think like not, so flavor is, like how many of these?
Well, it's almost worse, right? Because basically what you're saying is your expectations for the experience were much higher.
Yeah.
And you had a bad experience.
Right.
If this was a $4 quorum or something like that, you wouldn't even care. You'd just buy another one. This one you can't even buy another one.
Right.
There's not another one to buy.
Yeah.
And it was $25 or whatever.
Yeah.
So I think it gets a worse score because of that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But how many of these categories besides construction can wreck the overall experience as much as construction. Because construction, I think, is the number one.
Yeah, I mean, if it's not constructed well, then it is going to affect flavor.
Yeah.
It is going to affect experience.
Right.
It's just not going to affect price or presentation.
Right.
Presentation is just how it looks, which is important. You know, like the artistic component and stuff. Like there's whole books on cigar art.
Right.
You know, like it's a really important part of the culture and the industry. Mm-hmm. And one thing that I appreciate is like, you know, they go out of their way to make this beautiful, you know, kind of like high-end liquors do. You know, like there's a reason they put it in that bottle. It improves the experience, right? But it has nothing to do with the taste. Right. You know, you could have, you know, Johnny Walker in that bottle, or you could have whatever, you know, some Tennessee whiskey.
Yeah.
You know,
you could plate. You could plate.
Get it.
You could plate instant ramen really nicely.
Right. Yeah.
But it's still instant ramen.
Right. And then of course price. You know, it's obviously relative. You know, and even something that's a good value might not be in your budget or whatever. But yeah, construction, flavor, and experience, they all go together.
Yeah, I think the construction of the cigar single-handedly wrecked those three scores for me.
Yeah, I think so. Okay, so for experience for mine, I've got an 8. Could be better. Honestly, your experience affected mine a little bit.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that.
So here's why it's not a 10. Okay. Why it could be a 10 is you're smoking a Fuente Opus X. It's a hard-to-find cigar. It's a celebration. It's exciting. You don't get to do this a lot. And it's like winning the lottery. I can't go back and do it again. You know, I mean, you can, but typically if you find one on the shelf, there's a purchase limit, probably 2, something like that. So maybe you have a second one to try later, but or share with a friend like we did here. And then you got to wait months for them to show up again. You know, all of that adds to the experience, the gorgeous artwork on the box, you know, stuff like that. And then, you know, you can see like my burn line is perfect. You got a nice little 1.5
All right.
ash going on here.
All right. I don't want to see that.
The flavor's great. Yeah, I mean,
Right.
I had a great experience.
Plug my ears up while you. Yeah.
Gave you the bad one. Sucks to be you.
Yeah, you knew, you bastard.
So why isn't it a 10, right? Well, first and foremost is we both had issues lighting. That foot did not want to light. I don't know if it has to do with the mix of primings. Definitely had to do with the condition of the foot, which was not just a clean, flush cut, and I'm not sure why it's not. It wasn't a shag foot by any means. It was just raggedy, you know, and which I expect more and better from something at a price point like this. And so there were a couple times I did have to like smoke it special or touch it up to get to where I'm at now, which is, oh man, look at that ash. It's like a hard ash.
That's great, yeah. It's super compact.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
So that's why I've got an 8 for that. And just like with the flavor, we're going to go with, or with the construction, I mean, we're going to go with the higher score because I think it's more fair to Fuente, which brings our total score to 41. So not our highest scoring cigar. But to be fair, I do think this is an exception. And I don't think either of us have smoked an Opus before that behaved this way.
Yeah.
So we're going to list this as a 41 with a big old asterisk. And, you know, I don't think anybody skips right to the score. So they'll get to hear the whole drama.
Yeah.
But Nick, I really appreciate you enjoying this cigar with me today. You know, something special. At least it was for me. And that is all we've got for the show. So everybody out there on the interwebs, be sure to send us an email at birdlinepodcast@gmail.com or look us up on the socials, which Nick is going to get much more disciplined with posting to, at Birdline Podcast. And let us know your thoughts and feelings. If you smoked an Opus, let us know your experience. And if you want us to smoke a cigar just for you on the show, let us know which one you're looking for, and we'll see if we can make it happen. Don't forget to start that cigar collection of hard-to-obtain, limited edition, rare cigars. I think you will find as much enjoyment in it as we do. Thanks for joining us this week. As always, we will talk to you again next week.